What's happening? How y'all doing today? We got to do a quick conversation. I'm trying to wait and let a few more people get in. But what's happening, Brother Marcus, Sister Lokeo, Mr. Williams? I was trying to see if a couple more people get on, but I got to do this before I drop my truck off. So here's the deal. I feel like this must be said. There's a lot of debating that goes back and forth um, amongst people who claim to be the more enlightened of us. And I always say that the Matrix will give you whatever you need to make you feel like you're superior, just so it can put you into another box. All the Matrix cares about is that you stay in the box. So that's how it operates. So some of us can be privy to certain amounts of information or certain types of information, and then it can lead us to believe that we have cornered the market on certain things and everything else is false. Okay? Now, that's what the whole concept of religion, organized religion, is about. There's no real beef between any religious group on the upper levels. The beef is acted out amongst the serfs, the people who don't know no better. But on the upper, higher levels, it's just all about everybody has to be a part of some group or some box that you can be put into for cataloging you and categorizing you, because everything is about data mining. Big data did not start with the information age. It did not start with AI. It didn't start with Google. Data mining has been going on for thousands of years. And if we want to put, let's just say if we want to put a start time or date, let's start it with the Roman Empire. Data mining. Because they come in and they create a religion. Okay? And you've got to conform to this, because this becomes the religion of the Holy Roman Empire. Okay? And the rest is history. Well, things have advanced. Now it's about, you just need to be a part of some group, because the science is this: as long as you are a part of some group that has a specific doctrine, that means that there's always a limit to how far you can go. Okay? Now, with that said, I want to lay that foundation. Is what's happening, Coach McGee? Is black a hoax? Now, we have so many different truths, because they're all truths that are being spoken and given to us. There's a group who says African Americans ain't African. Okay? You got that group. You have the Moors. Now, what's interesting is that the science that both groups, and let me rephrase that, because we're all Moors, members of the Moorish Science Temple. Okay? the information that they put out is very similar to that of the people who say the Aboriginal, they call themselves, that one of their monikers is African Americans ain't African. But what's funny is I heard an old broadcast with these guy named Buckweiler and some other Rick Moon. I think Rick Moon is his co-host or whatever. And they had Ron March on there. Ron March, of course, identifies himself as a Moorish American. And they basically it was a what do they call that when you lure somebody in, and it was a trap, so to speak. And they started going after him about the nationality thing. You've got the Hebrew Israelites. You've got your Nation of Islam. You've got just old basic Phi Beta Baptist Christian. You got your Orthodox Muslims, okay? Now, certain groups will get more into religiosity, and others are dealing more with civics. And then that gets down to, well, what name should we go by? And I want to try to give some knowledge and wisdom here. And don't worry about my age, because I'm 41. What I'm going to say is wisdom. Now, understand this. If you want to say religion, let's just take organized Islam. We learned that there are 99 different names of Allah. Hinduism, there are 108 different names of the divine. There are in Judaism 72, Solomon traps the 72 demons, which that's another way of saying aspects of God in his signet ring. Now all those numbers add up to 9, okay? But that's a whole nother conversation. But this is where I want to steer your brain for a minute. Now, are we not under the understanding that we are divine people? And are we not under the understanding that we are divine people? Every conversation, whether historical, scientific, political, whatever, it always has to have. No, this ain't about. It's not about who to respect. I respect all. Let me say this. I respect all these brothers. This is not about who you like, who you don't like. Let's not take it there. It's not about that. This is about truth. Has nothing to do with who you like, who you respect. Everybody deserves respect. It's about getting down to the nitty-gritty. Okay? Of course, I got mad love for Dr. Eileen. And all the other brothers. But I know Dr. Eileen, though, on a personal level. But either way, if we are divine, and if every conversation has to have a metaphysical occult component linked to it, or else it is not complete. You can't have no conversation and not deal with the hidden nature of it. So if I'm trying to find a name for God, are you not God incarnated? Then how can I give God one name? when all of the texts have said that it's unnameable, it's chaotic, it's forever changing? God then can be Hebrew. God can definitely be Amor. God can be American. God can be original. God can be black. Why do we have to have one or the other? And so let me tell you, this is one, I always try to tell you the real deal hidden agenda shit. And it ain't the shit that a lot of people talking about. It ain't got nothing to do with that bullshit. The agenda is to get you to argue that there's one way, that there's one name, there's one truth. That's the damn conspiracy. To lock you in. Because once you lock in, now you have to seek opposition. Opposition is going to seek you. It's just inevitable because you have boxed yourself into one group. I can give you proof that every motherfucking group is right. Everywhere you look, you're going to find more, mer, mayor, mayor. Everywhere you look. Of course we're Moors. But we are black too. And I'm going to prove this shit to you. This is why I say everything has to have metaphysics attached to it, or you ain't busting a grape. So even etymology. See, nobody can come and fuck with me on that, because I fucks with that shit 24/7. I know my motherfucking shit. There are so many parts to linguistics. Although I know my shit, I still don't know it all, but I know enough to where nobody can't. You just can't come and smack me around the room with the shit. I know my shit. Let me tell you something about black. Let me tell you first about language. If everything emerges from melanated people, and the Moors, the historical Moors, were the people who civilized Europe. Facts. Ain't no debating that shit. Paved streets, bad perfume, the original motherfucking Max, diamond in the back, digging in the scene with a gangster. The Moors brought fashion. Okay. Then they also brought language, goddammit. English, Spanish, French are all called Romantic languages. They all come back to Latin. And who introduced Latin to the Western world? The goddamn Moors, historical Moors. So when we break the arguments, this is why you got to be an independent, critical thinker. And you can't take one person's argument and run with it. You got to fucking think. Everybody's information is important, but it's not supposed to become your doctrine. So here's the old argument that the word black comes from bleach, from bleak, and bleak means pale, and that word does not emerge until the 16th, 11th century, one or the other. Well, who the fuck brought language? If the shit emerged in the 7th century, the 8th century, who the fuck introduced the language to a people who could not fucking speak? You ever asked that question? Why you take your own divinity away from yourself? You're the motherfucking author of language in the world. And this is why you have to have a metaphysical lens on everything, because it goes back to the Tower of Babel story. In the origin of melanin, you also had the origin of language, because it is a divine substance of all knowing, all tongues, all symbols. Who created the language of symbols? You did. So what motherfucking language does not come from your tongue? Think, goddammit. You motherfuckers argue about shit that somebody else is giving you. Goddammit, be a motherfucking scholar. Because, why teach it to the savages? Because the time has come when we would become the fucking savages. We've become savage. Do you not look at fucking YouTube and see how we carry on? Black power, goddammit. That's fucking savage. Quit all the goddamn romanticism. We're fucking savage now. So we had to give it to a custodian so you could reclaim the shit. I'm tired of motherfuckers. You gotta have your own fucking identity. That's what this shit is coming down to. You can't be no goddamn follower. You got to fucking think, man, for your goddamn self. Let me tell you some shit. You know they just closed a bookstore down the street from me. Now you might not think that ain't shit. They just shut down a half-price books. Do you motherfuckers not know what's coming? This is the New Age burning of the Library of Alexandria. We don't have hardly no motherfucking independent bookstores. Barnes and Nobles is a goddamn joke. Them motherfuckers all just be selling coloring books. And they sell bullshit ass metaphysical books about how to fucking breathe on a rock or some shit. And the motherfuckers be expensive as hell. You can't find no good literature nowhere no more other than Amazon. So they got everything circled into there. So when they want to shut off that shit, if you're not, man, I'm trying to tell you some real shit. The attack is on the motherfucking brain. Motherfuckers can't think. And I don't give a fuck if I sound crazy, because I am crazy. But I'm crazy and I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You better goddamn quit following fucking personalities and think. Once you start playing that language game, you can't play it one way. You got to play it on all sides. There's not one side, just the language. Connotative linguistics is not the end-all, do-all. The denotative has some merit too. There's symbolism behind the shit. Why is it when you look up etymology, there's a million goddamn etymologies. I researched this motherfucking shit. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So you got to, what's going to be the only common denominator is the understanding of symbolism, goddammit. That's where you're using your left brain and your motherfucking right brain. Time is out for the goddamn beefing. You're going to either be a goddamn god or sit your motherfucking monkey ass down over there, sit on the bench, and give the motherfuckers who out there in the game some water. When I come off the court, motherfucker, give me some water. Don't give me no motherfucking back talk. If you ain't going to be one of the motherfucking thought leaders, then shut the fuck up. You either going to be a leader or a goddamn follower. And no motherfucking leaves me. You're too motherfucking lazy to pick up a book and study to show thyself approved, then don't say shit. It's fine. You know, everybody, you know, everything in there for everybody. But when you're going to get out here about that, then you're running with the big dogs now. Okay? So, let me give you a metaphysical way to understand what black really is. Black is laid out for you. Let me tell you this first. There's something called an anagram. The Bible, for one, is a book that is laid out in a bunch of anagrams where they hid shit by turning the words around, twisting the letters. Numbers chapter 26 verse 65 is where you're going to get introduced to what black really is. Joshua is starting to take over from Moses. We know Joshua, Yeshua, the breath, the spirit, has a companion that goes with him to spy on the land that they're going to take over. And his companion is named Caleb, goddammit. When you take black and trace it back to its origin, you get Blake, bleak. It's spelled B-L-E-A-C. The same exact letters spell the word Caleb. Joshua's companion. So Joshua is the spirit and his companion was his motherfucking soul. That's what the black represents. These motherfuckers, if you want to call them Illuminati, they're not doing what you think they're doing. They're fucking with your mind. They're making you think you're smart. They're making you think you got the motherfucking shit and everybody else is dumb. They're fucking with you because they don't put themselves into one group. They want everything. They don't close themselves off to nothing. But they'll give you the rhetoric to have you fighting against each other, thinking that you got it right and this other motherfucker got it wrong. And sitting back and laughing at you. You're black, you're a Moor, you're a Hebrew Israelite, you're a Yahudi, you're a Commission, you're a nigger, you're a piece of shit, because shit is divine too. You're a bitch, you're a witch, you're evil, you're chaos, you're all that motherfucking shit. And I can back it up with goddamn scholarship. That's my rant for the day. Sorry for the emotion. I'm not sorry. I enjoyed the emotional outbursts. Study, study, study. I respect everybody, especially those who are willing to put in some work, willing to study, willing to experiment, willing to go and take a class to learn how to do this and that. I respect all of you. And I don't want you to close yourself off to nothing. God is infinite, and so are you, because you are God. Sure enough it is. Y'all stay down till you get up. When you get up, stay down. It's Brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com. Peace.